out there, my name is Nomso Thelma. Welcome to another informative episode of Housing Development Program, the program that brings you up to speed with everything happening in the housing and construction sector. We also bring to you opportunities to buy and invest in properties of your own. Now, today on the program, we will look into the issue of mortgage financing for Nigeria's housing sector. What is the way forward? Also on our lineup, still talking about mortgage, we went into the streets to find out what majority of Nigerian youths understand about mortgage. Now, on the way forward in achieving affordable housing in Nigeria, we had some experts in the beauty industry lend their opinions. Now, for those looking forward to the 13th Abuja International Housing Show, we also have good news for you and much more on our own A Home segment. But before we delve into all of the details, let's bring to you news in the housing and construction sector. Don't go anywhere.
Nigerian Institute of Civil Engineers (NICE), a division of the Nigerian Society of Engineers (NSC), has attested to the stability and safety of the Third Mainland Bridge after recent fears expressed over its condition. The bridge is currently undergoing routine repair works on its weak expansion joint. In a report after its technical visit to the bridge recently, signed by NSC Chairman Apapa Branch, Sonny Ejeje, the body stressed that the expansion joints are not structural parts of the bridge and do not have structural bearing on the stability of the bridge. The federal government has begun the renovation and rehabilitation of 104 unity colleges in the country. According to the Minister of Education, Adamu, the rehabilitation exercise includes replacement of broken toilets, ceilings, creation of additional classrooms, and renovation of the existing ones. Directed by President Muhammadu Buhari, the minister said the renovation is aimed at expanding access to education in the country, which is stated during the monitoring of the 2019 Common Entrance Examination organized by the National Examination Council in Abuja on Saturday. The Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria (REDAN) has announced that it will launch a national real estate data collation and management program in order to tackle Nigerians' housing deficits. The historical project was initiated by REDAN and the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) to collate property price index in Nigeria in order to solve a critical part of housing problems in Nigeria. The launch will take place at the organization's third annual expo from 7th to 8th of May 2019. The 13th Abuja International Housing Show, which is set to hold from the 23rd to 26th of July 2019, will feature over 40,000 participants from Nigeria and across the world. According to the show's convener, Barrister Festus Adebayo, the show will host over 400 plus exhibitors and over 30 international speakers. He therefore called on the stakeholders to register for the program.
Welcome back. That was Housing News Headlines. For more stories, you can visit our website at www.housingnews.org.ng. You can also download our Housing News app from your Google Play Store. Now, for those of you thinking of how to own a home, you can check our scroll message for properties that are on sale at the moment. You can also check our scroll message for details of Own Your Home promo. Now, moving on, mortgages were specifically designed to make home ownership more affordable to the average Nigerian. But so far, how much of home ownership has been achieved with the Nigerian mortgage system? How many low-income earners can afford the interest rate on mortgage loans? Let's hear from this report, Ways to Improve Mortgage Finance in Nigeria.
A mortgage is a legal agreement that allows you to borrow money from a bank or building society at a specific interest rate in order to build or buy a house. Interest rates on mortgage loans in Nigeria ranges from 15% to 25% per annum, excluding fees and other charges. The question which comes to mind is, with these sort of interest rates, can low-income earners honestly afford a mortgage on steady salary? Yemi Adelakun, MD CEO, NISH Affordable Housing Limited, in an interview with Housing Development Program, says Nigeria needs a more creative method of funding housing as the interest rate for mortgages cannot be afforded by the low-income earner.
Niche has been engaging experts in this area for the last 2 years. You have done the Nigeria Housing Finance Conference for 2 years now. Equity financing is one of the options. The contractors themselves can finance. Presently, most of our developers depend on contracts to do their houses, depend on off-takers' advance payment to do their houses. No. If they consolidate their efforts, they put their heads together, they'll be able to fund houses based on guarantees. Off-takers, bankable, off-takers guarantee. Once you guarantee that, a good developer should go to site, build the houses with the hope and knowledge that as soon as he finishes the job, there's an exit strategy. The off-takers already have the fund waiting for him to purchase the house.
He opts for social capital as a way to finance affordable housing as practiced in other countries.
In other countries, they have used social capital to finance affordable housing, and that is done through cooperative system. In Zimbabwe, in Kenya, they have done very well using social capital to support affordable housing. Another way of doing it is federal government coming out strongly with intervention fund, like other countries. They have done it before in these countries, especially in Abuja, when federal government was selling houses. You can go to any bank at that time and obtain loan for 7%.
Mortgages were specifically designed to make home ownership more affordable to average Nigerian, but so far that hasn't been achieved with the Nigerian mortgage system. Speaking on the need to find solutions to housing finance, Adelakun says governments can empower commercial banks to give preferential rates to off-takers to fund housing at single-digit interest rates.
You can also empower commercial banks to give preferential rates to off-takers to fund their housing at single-digit interest rate. Presently, any interest rate beyond 10% is not doable for housing, and that's why Niche has been engaging experts in this area for the last 2 years. You have done the Nigeria Housing Finance Conference for 2 years now. Equity financing is one of the options, which is very, very good.
With sound policies, better data, and increased access to affordable credit, it is believed an enabled housing market can increasingly provide housing that the average household in Nigeria can afford.
My name is Obafemi Oluwole of Noshile, the President, Nigerian Institute of Queen Surveyors. Keep watching housing development.
Welcome back. That was a stakeholder in the housing sector, Mr. Yemi Adelakun, preferring solutions to housing finance in Nigeria. Now, for those who want to know more about other ways to finance housing, there will be a one-day workshop on cooperative housing at the Musa Yar'Adua Center on Friday, 3rd of May, organized by Niche with the support of Family Homes Funds. Now, still talking about mortgage, we have discovered that the majority of Nigerian youths have little knowledge about what mortgage is all about. How true is this? Let's take a look as we decided to find out from few young people on the street.
This mortgage of a thing, this is my first time of hearing it. But I think with the little idea I have, I said it's something like having a home of your own. And my plans of having a home of my own is just being self-independent, creating job for myself, at least starting something.
The word mortgage, I think I got introduced to it in movie settings. I got to hear about it where you find a family probably at their all-time stop because they are at the verge of losing their homes. So it was from there I decided to find out what it was, and I discovered it has some legal backing to it though. I think you more like offer up your building, your house, in exchange for probably money, most likely money, and if you don't meet up with the agreement, you get your home taken away from you or your building taken away from you. So that's what I say as mortgage. And I didn't like what I saw in the movie setting. So I don't like the word at all. I don't even intend doing anything mortgage with my home.
The word mortgage is actually a financial institution or a cooperative society which help in financing projects and having houses of your own. For example, in Nigeria. And the contribution towards achieving those goals is like if the federal government can actually come in collaboration with CBN to like sponsor some property firms or sponsor the youth in owning properties of their own.
A little I know about mortgage. I think the first time I heard that word was on Nollywood, one of their movie Money Yab Man. So Sam Loco actually was the one that used that word mortgage. From there I began to find out what it's all about mortgage, and I found that it had to be like a kind of business term that have to do with buying and selling houses on loan, or buying a house on loan, or trying to acquire to sell your own property on loan. And that's a little I know about mortgage.
Okay, mortgage is when you go to a bank. In the process of doing this, we have what we call a collateral. That is, it could be property, it could be land, it could be house, it could be just a landed property or something which worth much more than the money or the money. So should in case there's a default in you returning that money you've loaned from a bank, then you lose your interest. I mean, your interest over that property.
Okay, mortgage. I don't really know much about mortgage. I just believe in, saving towards that, save towards owning a house of your own.
For the young people who want to own a home, allow us to catch you young. Let's teach you what you need to know about mortgage and how to access mortgage at a young age. Register now at www.ihs2019.org for the Not Too Young to Own a Home platform at the 13th Abuja International Housing Show coming up on the 23rd to 26th of July 2019. In a move towards addressing the housing challenge in Nigeria, Hydroform Engineering Limited, leaders in sustainable building solutions, have come up with a sample building type which would afford low-income earners the opportunity to buy a house at little cost. Take a look at this report.
In a bid to achieve low-cost housing in Nigeria, Hydroform Engineering Limited, leaders in sustainable building solutions, have come up with a cheaper way of building houses. The company, which has begun construction of a two-bedroom house, which will cost about 3 million naira to set up, says the aim of this type of house is towards addressing the housing challenge in Nigeria. Speaking with Housing Development Program, Hydroform's Managing Director, Mr. Babatunde Uthman, says affordable housing can be achieved with the production of building blocks from laterites and cement.
Hydroform is in the forefront of delivering affordable houses using our worldwide known technology called Hydroform. We produce building blocks from laterite and little cement. The blocks are unique in that they are interlocking. We save about 70% of mortar joints in a building by using our technology. That considerably assists in reducing the cost of a house.
He further says there is need to find a way around building cheaper made in Nigeria houses because a lot of Nigerians cannot afford to take housing loans.
If you look at the NHF, if we are taking a loan at 5 million at 6% for 20-25 years, how many Nigerians can afford to take a loan of 5 million today at that even 6% interest rate? That's the need for us to continuously looking for a cheaper way to build. That's why the challenge is thrown to us. That's why we are coming up with a Nigerian house that will be built in Nigeria.
With the Hydroform block making machine, which is a machine for mass housing, affordable housing can be achieved. So says Mrs. Medina Uthman, a director at Hydroform Limited.
The Hydroform block making machine is a machine for mass housing because one machine can do about 200 houses in a year. If you look after it, it's a machine, just like a car. It needs to be serviced, etc., etc. So it's affordable for developers once you are into mass housing.
This is a 64 square meter house which consists of a living room, 2 bedrooms, a kitchen and a guest toilet. The building bricks are environmentally friendly and cost effective. These affordable housing advocates believe that the cheaper houses can be built, the more affordable it becomes, hence the need for all stakeholders involved to work together with the government in achieving Nigeria's housing deficit.
Now, still talking about addressing housing needs for low-income earners, let's hear what these experts have to say towards making affordable housing a reality in Nigeria.
The important thing is to develop our own building materials, not to be imported. If there are ways of importing our own building material, the better for us. That in itself will bring down the cost of buildings in Nigeria. Because if you talk of waiver, when the waiver is removed, then it becomes a problem. So the most important thing is to develop our own building materials within the country.
The government said should do more research into building materials to make sure they have like bricks, like even mud, like handmade or machine-made blocks and mortar. These are the things that can help make it affordable. Affordable means what are you earning? What is the cost of the building? So if you are saying affordable, it's not what is affordable to you is not affordable to me. But you can say for low-cost housing.
Affordable housing in Nigeria will have to be addressed from the point of view of access. 1, to the land. 2, mortgage support. That is, federal government mortgage must make access to funding much easier.
Those were expert views towards achieving affordable housing in Nigeria. You're still watching Housing Development Program. Now, like I said, Housing Development Program is where we bring your housing dreams to reality. Are you thinking of a credible developer to fulfill your dream of home ownership? Then Urban Shelter Limited is the right place to go. Let's hear more.
In Abuja alone now, we are working on the Apple Market in Apple. We're working on Promenade in Lokogoma. We're working on Saronia Estate in Lube. We're working on Urban Shelter Estate in Kiami. We're working on Bellevue 2 and 3. All at Life Camp. We're working on Brick City Views and Brick City Breeze as well. Those are 2 projects also in Koba region. So we are extensively heavily invested in Abuja, both in terms of output and in terms of actually giving value to clients, and in terms of range of products as well. So this is everything from a studio flats all the way to 5-bedroom mansions. And in terms of pricing range, so you're looking at from 4 million naira to 200 million naira. So this tells you what's important for Urban Shelter isn't just creating houses, it's ensuring that everybody that comes through the door, there's something that kind of meets their income status. One of the things that really we hold very dear to us is Urban Shelter affordable homes. We think that, shelter is a basic human right, and as much as we can, we should be able to make that happen. We've gone further, not just looking at kind of the houses that we produce, the real estate we produce, but to say what kind of financial tools can we create, and we've come up with a 5-year plan. So it's important for us, I think, to get hardworking Nigerian people into homes. So everything begins from not just the house, it begins with even the location. So it's important, for instance, that you don't have to drive 2 hours from your house to your office. It's important you don't have to drive 90 minutes from your home to get to your children to school. It's important for us that you have typically what we call plug and play. So we're ensuring we provide road networks right up to your estate, external and internal. We're ensuring when you turn your taps on, the water is flowing. We're ensuring that so far as we can, there is power, and all that is left is for the federal government to actually get that power to you. And in some estates, we also provide backup generators. We're ensuring that for life and health at balance, that there are recreational spaces that allows you to unwind during the weekend, that allows you to have a picnic, invite family, invite friends, because more and more now I think, the importance of de-stressing and relaxing at your home. One man's home is his castle, so it's important we try and really hit that note. Internally, of course, quality all the way. This has been synonymous with Urban Shelter projects from day one, all the way when we were first opening neighborhoods in Kado with Lakeview to Katampe at the Katampe estates and so on and so forth, even far back as Karamu. So even developing the idea of estate living has been one of Urban Shelter's key milestones. It's one of those first things that we really brought into Abuja in our 25-year history.
Welcome back. You're watching Housing Development. Now, the 13th edition of the Abuja International Housing Show is drawing close. The show, which is the largest housing and construction show in Africa, promises to host a lot of key stakeholders in the sector. Now, some of the guest speakers expected at the event will include Liu Showman, CEO, iBuild Global Incorporated, USA, Olivia Caldwell, Principal, Affordable Housing Institutes, Keisha Ross, Executive Director and Founder, Center for Affordable Housing Finance, South Africa. Ime Okon, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Infrastructure. Afolabi Ime Kode, Senior Special Assistant to the Vice President on NPower. Professor Mustafa Zubeiru, Project Consultant, Niger State Smart City Project. Professor Johnson Falade, former country rep for UN Habitat in Nigeria. Ahmed Dangiwa, MD, FMBN. Femi Adewale, MD, Family Homes Funds, amongst others. Still talking about the Abuja International Housing Show. Are you thinking of how to promote your brand? Are you thinking of how to increase your sales? Why complaining that you cannot get sales when you have a platform that can help you improve your sales, introduce you to the people that need your products, and also create an opportunity for you to network? The Abuja International Housing Show is a place to be. You can ask those who have attended the 12th edition. Register now for the 13th edition, which is coming up in July.
Oh, it's been a fantastic one so far. This is now our second time here. We're here last year, and every time we come, we've seen that there's been value that's been added to our business. Industry is here, present, whether it be for the financial houses or other property development companies and so on and so forth. Generally, it's a good place to network with other individuals, but also to network with prospects that are coming to look for property.
This is an avenue I want everybody that is in the built environment to explore. It is a place you can network, and then you can showcase what you can do, and you can be able to interact with other colleagues in the industry.
This is our first time of participating and exhibiting at the Abuja International Housing Show, and it has been an excellent experience so far. Great for networking with customers, prospective customers, as well as our peers in the industry. It has been really fantastic. Please, if you're not here, you are really missing out, because it's a great opportunity to find everybody from your peers in the industry to prospective clients, because they know that they can come here as a one-stop shop for everything they need for their housing and building, endeavors. So I would say if you aren't here, please endeavor to come here. We have people here I've met that have been coming for years and years, and they only have success stories and great accolades to give the show. So, it's been really great.
We are from India, so we are basically into the solar and LEDs. Our main goal is to give the solar products for Nigeria. We have all the LED lights which can consume low power and give the very good and bright output.
It's been very, very fantastic, I must say, and I must commend the organizers of this event. Excellently arranged, well presented, and I've seen a whole lot of new breakthroughs in the real estate industry.
The largest housing and construction show
in Africa.
Abuja International Housing Show.
You cannot afford to miss it. Be there.
Now that is all we have for you on the program today. For the sake of time, remember you can go register at www.rhs2019.org to be part of the 13th Abuja International Housing Show. Till I see you next week, I remain Nomso Thelma.